navigate it. And sometimes, a lot of times, that's what it takes. Is you have to have that vision and be able to follow through and make it happen, because nobody else is going to necessarily do that for you. You need to be driving. So for me, that was quite an early and poignant lesson that was impactful even today.
Very much so. And literally, it is growth mindset in action.
Mm.
May I ask you a question? I don't know if you identify as any neurodivergence, do you?
I don't know.
Okay. An observation I have made that may or may not be true appears to be that women, maybe because it's conditioning, it may be something in the neurology, but essentially women are better than men at understanding consequence. So girls appear to get trained from very early on, oh, don't do that or don't do that because this is, it's an overprotectiveness, but it might lead to the ability to be visionary. Because everyone so far, yourself included, has fearlessly and with great purpose and with outcome thinking, which is an NLP technique, have gone after and changed all sorts of things. What's your thinking about that? Like, I think men are binary.
I mean, I don't think I'm educated enough on. I think it's quite a generalization to make. I just don't know enough to say whether or not. I think there's probably more nuance there. I'd have to get back to you on that.
So I'm being a bit too over generalistic for you to make a call on it. Mm-hmm. So just speaking for yourself, are you aware of seeing things in your the way you plan?
I think in terms of consequences, I think anecdotally, from what I have experienced, I think that women professionally are more aware of what they do and how that impacts them. Whereas for the men that I've worked with, maybe less so, and they're more likely to take a risk or do something that might be deemed disruptive or could potentially backfire, because they also deem the consequences as less impactful. So yes, that's how I would interpret that.
Well, that interpretation certainly lines up with the reading. So we're going to go to Vicky now, who's leaving shortly. So your story, Vicky, you've already told us about how you changed the aspirations of young girls. What's your story?
I suppose I've been a disruptor since an early age. I was a very naughty child. I was a very naughty child. I got lucky. I got sent to America. I did my last few years in high school over there, and they embrace people with differences, and it's a bit unlike England, where we got to do electives, we got embraced, we got to be put in sports, because I love the way you were talking, Sean, where they don't judge people just for being females or males. If you want to have a go at one of the male sports, they say, come on. And they give a level playing field to people. So I think very much that is what's grown me in my disruptive behaviours, as I call it, where they've embraced. So when I came back to the UK, I carried that into the workplace. And then from there on in, and that's why I heard what, was it Jandra was saying before from the fire service?
Oh, didn't you?
Yeah, I was a police officer when I first came back. And I understood what she was saying, where we had to put the pants on sometimes. And it was very different, because it was always the females that were chucked in when there were fights or anything, because the males had this perception that females could calm a situation. when it was actually they were putting them in harm. I don't know why they thought when there was a big punch up, let's chuck one of the females in there. The men will stop. But when someone's in a frenzy, they don't stop. No. So, but it's just that whole perception that, and sometimes we had to wear the pants instead of them wearing the pants. And we could think faster sometimes. And I think that's what I've took over into business. And when I came out of the police, I then went into basically embracing everything that I'd learned in America, which was the space education and the engineering. And that's why I said I wanted to try construction. And everywhere I knocked on a door and tried to get in, everyone was like, no, you're not quite right. You don't fit this. You haven't got the right education. You haven't done this for years. You haven't got... So I decided, well, if no one's going to let me do it, then I'm going to do it for myself. And with that, I went to schools and I've embraced the whole thing. I've also gone and worked with people like Airbus and stuff like that and embraced the educational routes for kids to get apprenticeships, because that's the most important. It's about how, on a bigger scale, we change the narrative. And I loved what Vicky said, because we're peers for young people. And if we show them a negativity or how not to act, then they're going to carry on acting badly. We have to be the positive role models for them tomorrow. And we have to show them what's right and wrong and be the good person. So if we do something bad, it shows bad on them. So if we can embrace the change positively, and one of the favourite sayings I have on my wall is Muhammad Ali, is if your dreams aren't big enough, oh God, I can't. I'll have to look up at it.
It'll always be the way.
Yeah, I know. Basically, Muhammad Ali's I've got it up on my wall, and it says, wait there, I'll go and have a look at it now, because it's one of my favourite sayings. If you
Say it again.
It's all right. It says, if your dreams aren't big enough. No, I've looked away at it again. You knew that, didn't you, love?
Well,
if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. So basically, I always try and do everything in life that scares me, because I think that's the best way forward, stepping out of a comfort zone. And
Absolutely.
I think I've heard all the stories off everyone in here today, and I'm humbled by half the things that I've heard, because I think you're all great. And I think it was right what everyone was said earlier. It's not that we're trying to battle. I think everyone has a role in life. And I'm not saying that men are the evil, they're not. No. I work alongside men day in, day out. I have great banter with them. And they respect me and I respect them. I think everybody has a job to do in life. It's just how we all respect each other. And I think that's what Vicky was addressing before when she was saying she was teaching a little one how to do pronouns. And it's all about that respect. The right person needs to do the right role. The right person needs to treat people with respect. And I think that's what it goes back to. And the further we can improve that respect straight across the board, that's what we need to do. And
Fantastic. Sorry.
No, that's it.
Well, fantastic. I know you need to make a move. What I would say to anyone watching this video on YouTube or any of these ladies' channels is their LinkedIn contact details will be in the show notes. Connect with them, especially if you're a young female entering the business world or whatever world, and you're looking for someone who you can ask maybe to be a mentor. We've had a fantastic conversation. I hope to do more of these. So see you soon, LinkedIn family.